and welcome. Well, oh wait, hold on, I gotta pull the script. Hello and welcome to episode 44 of the GameBrew Podcast, the bi-weekly-ish video game podcast where we sip delicious bevs, discuss video games, and OMG, WTF, LOL, JK, ROFL, AITA, NVM, winky face.
I knew most of those.
I'm Dan.
I'm Chris.
And on this episode of the GameBrew Podcast, we ask the question, have you ever made a company just oops, never mind? But first, it's time for a bev. Chris, what are you drinking this week?
So, I'm trying to cut back a little bit on the beer intake.
Nice.
So I'm trying out some Liquid Death.
Ooh, Liquid Death.
Have you had Liquid Death before?
I have had Liquid Death before. It is just sparkling water.
It feels like a little more than just sparkling water.
It's delicious. Sparkling water.
It is pretty good.
Which one? Is that the Mango Chainsaw?
This is Mango Chainsaw. Yeah.
I do love Mango Chainsaw.
It's very good.
It's like
this is the first time I've ever had it, and yeah, it's really good. I mean, it is kind of expensive, but I think it's kind of got a cool place in the beverage sphere.
It does, because it's like, number one, it does what it says. It's like, yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but also it comes in a recyclable can. It's better for the environment. And yeah.
And I've seen a lot of people online say they really like it, especially if they're trying to cut back on alcohol. Yeah. Because it kind of gives the feel of a beer.
Yeah.
It's like some like the product, like the marketing kind of has like a craft beer look to it.
Yeah, it's that satisfying like
yeah.
There's not a whole lot of sugar in it, or any sugar at all whatsoever. I'm not sure.
I think there is.
I don't know in the flavored versions of it. But you can also just get like flat water. Like there's like they have just regular water in cans, and then also just sparkling water in cans.
Right.
I will say I like the Mango Chainsaw the best of all of the sparkling waters.
Yeah, that's super good. I like that.
It's very yummy. I'm a big fan. But cool. That's nice, Chris.
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
I'm doing that.
That's good.
What are you drinking?
I made a New Year's resolution to bring on some interesting beers to the podcast. Yeah. So this one I am drinking right now is a fried ice cream stout.
Okay.
It's an imperial stout brewed with vanilla ice cream, chocolate, and cinnamon. It's by Flying Fish Brewing Company.
Okay. Where's Flying Fish out of?
Flying Fish is Jersey. They're Somerdale, New Jersey.
I've heard of them.
But yeah, I like their beers. But this one, it like looks like it's like ice cream. But yeah, it's this is the fourth one of these that I'm drinking tonight. But like that, there were four of them. I drank the other three. This is the fourth one.
Nice.
It really is very yummy. It's like a dessert. It's a dessert beer. Mm-hmm. It really makes me happy to drink it, because it's like it's delicious, but it's also like, yeah, it's just a yummy beer to drink. And since it's a stout,
is it sweet, or is it like?
It's sweet, but it's got like some toastiness to it. Because of like that really like roasted malt. It smells yummy. Mm-hmm. And it is 10.3 ABV. But good. Also because it's a stout, you don't drink it so fast. Like roof. You don't drink it as roof. You don't drink it as quickly because it's a stout. It's thick. It's like a milkshake. So whenever I'm drinking it, I'm like, oh, even though it's 10.3 ABV, it's not too crazy. It's just a yummy.
And it does have some of that toasty flavor with it too.
It does.
That's
yeah.
Cool.
It's nice and toasty. It's got the sweetness to it. That chocolate, that cinnamon really pops out. Really get that vanilla ice cream flavor underneath. It's good. Nice. It's yummy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds tasty.
Yeah. But
I'll have to see if I can pick one up myself.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good around. I have a nice beer store that's over by me. I just have to remember to go there and not to like Wegmans or
Yeah, I assume Wegmans has a pretty good selection.
They have a pretty good selection, but like literally like 5 minutes away, there's an actual like beer distributor, and they have a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So I just have to go there and not anywhere else. But yeah, that's what I'm drinking.
Cool.
So we've got the brew part of it. Now it's time for the game part of it.
That's right.
Chris, what have you been playing, Chris?
So recently I was traveling, so I was playing stuff on my Switch. Side note, so I think we've all heard about the joystick issues with the Joy-Cons.
With the Switches, yep.
Yep. So there's another issue where after a while, the locks on the rails from like when you slide it on can break.
Oh no.
So like to the point like where it'll like lock, but then
you can still like just pop it up. Oh no.
Yeah. So I was having that issue.
Oh geez. Well, Chris, you know what that means though. You just gotta go buy one of those OLED switches. You know.
I could do that, or what I ended up doing was I fixed it myself.
Oh, you fixed it yourself. Nice, very good.
So I bought on Amazon for like $12. You can get a kit that has 4 of them, two for each side.
Oh, nice.
And they're metal.
Yeah.
So shouldn't break now.
Yeah, shouldn't break this time.
Yeah, and it took a little bit of time, like probably 10 or 15 minutes to kind of make sure I was doing everything correctly, but seems to be working fine now.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, apparently there's like you can like do the replacement of the Joy-Con.
I've seen that
things
well, yeah.
Like you can fix the Joy-Con drift yourself. You just have to have patience to do it and get like the screwdriver, the 3-head screwdriver, or the 5-head one. I forget the 5-tip one. I forget which one it is, but yeah.
Anyway, so during that trip I was playing some Katamari Damacy Reroll.
Always
which
good.
Is like it's a really good plain game. But that was a lot of fun. And then also played some Skyrim because that's something I can pretty much always pick it up and put back down. So
yeah,
do a dungeon or two and then go to
just
bed.
Like go in, slap some villagers around.
That's right.
Hey, you cannot do that.
Here's 200 gold.
Okay. Bye. Have a good time.
In a couple minutes.
I'll see you later. Have fun storming the castle.
But great.
But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
What about you?
I bought a PS5.
You got some good news. Right?
I bought a PS5. I have one now. We also just like cleaned our whole living room area, so now I like laid out all the consoles like in a row so you can see that we're pretty up to date with everything. But yeah, I bought a PS5. I'm playing through some stuff right now on there. I'm not going to talk about that though. I'm going to talk about 2 different things.
Okay.
So the first one is that last, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I think 2 weeks ago, there was like a developer. There was like a developer day at Xbox, and they were Bethesda Softworks, not Bethesda Softworks, which is like the offshoot company. They announced, "Oh, hey, we're making this game is coming out from Tango Gameworks called Hi-Fi Rush. It's a rhythm action platformer game, and surprise! It's now, and it was just out." And it's really cool. Tango Gameworks is the developer, and they are, you would know them.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is what it's called. And you will know the developer Tango Gameworks because they did The Evil Within, 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, which are three very creepy games. And then this, which is like goofy and fun, and it's a rhythm-based action platformer, like hack and slash action platformer. Yeah. So it's kind of like remember whenever I played Heavy Metal Hellsinger?
Yes.
Which is like a first-person shooter. This is the same thing, except instead it's a like hack and slash. It's kind of like if you play Devil May Cry, but you have to get more points, you have to do things in rhythm to the music that's happening in the game.
That's cool.
And
there was a game that we saw, I think, at MagFest one year. I can't remember what it was called off the top of my head.
okay.
But it's kind of like that, where like you kind of like make moves like while you're fighting.
Like
It's
while
kind of
you're
like a isometric like
yeah.
here.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's
cool.
It's very cool. It's really fun. The art style is very reminiscent of like Into the Spider-Verse, or like the Dragon Prince, like those kind of like it's cartoony but also in 3D. So Robbie Daymond is the main character. I love him. He's a great voice actor. And yeah, it's just really fun. There's like tongue-in-cheek jokes. There's robots everywhere. It's kind of like all the enemies you beat up are all robots or like bosses. So, or like at a work, they're the bosses at this workplace. So, I don't feel bad about beating them up because they deserve it. But yeah, no, it's great. I highly recommend it. It's on Game Pass if you have Game Pass. Otherwise, it's $29.99 on Steam right now, so you can get it there too. Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's like I haven't finished it yet. It's supposed to be like 10 to 14 hours of game, but there's like collectibles and upgrades you can buy to add more stuff. Basically, it's like the kid wants to be a rock star, but he doesn't have any musical ability whatsoever. But it's really good. I think it's gotten crazy good reviews. But yeah, there's that. And then I've also been playing the Dead Space remake that came out.
Nice. Are you playing that on your PC?
No, I'm actually playing it on my Xbox because I'm a little baby and I can't have my headphones on and like especially Dead Space. I don't know why. It just triggers me. I can't like be by myself in my office with my headphones on playing that game. I will be too scared and I won't be able to play it. So instead I'm playing it on my Xbox. And it's good. Like it's very true to the original. I think things they changed were like there's side quests and stuff now, so more things to go find.
And he speaks now, correct?
He does. They did put dialogue for him in there. Honestly, they didn't change a lot of the dialogue that the other people are saying. So his dialogue is kind of extra. I'm not really too thrilled about them adding him in just because, I mean, I do love Isaac Clarke being more of a character. I like that he's in like 2. I really like how they develop his character further. And in 3, we don't really talk about 3, but in Dead Space 2, they develop his character further and give him a voice. In 1, in the first one, they kind of like let you be the protagonist. We've talked about that before, how I like games where it's like, oh, it puts you into the person's shoes.
Yeah, instead of you playing someone else.
Right. And I really did like that. And in this, it's nice that they have his voice in there, but the other character's dialogue is still very much like, almost like he's not talking. Like they say things in a way.
It's like he's muted in the conversation and he's saying things. But
exactly. Yeah, but it means nothing. So he's just kind of adding stuff in. But man, I mean, Dead Space looked good when it first came out, right?
It did.
It's just better. They add the better lighting is in there. They made it so. Like the kind of this movement is a little smoother for the character. Like you remember in the first one, he's kind of stompy, in Dead Space. He's kind of very like tank-ish. In this, he's a little less tanky. You can still kind of maneuver around a little bit better. You still have all the stasis. You have the kinetic grab stuff. You have all the different guns that you can pick up. But then they also add like before what would have just been most of the time like audio logs or text logs. Some of those are not just audio logs anymore. There's like you can see like little 3D things happening. There's a little bit more interaction with other characters in it. And it just looks good. It just looks great. Yeah. Like, and there's things that they change within missions, so it's still very similar to what I remember playing it, but they're good changes. Like, do you remember the mission where there's meteors? You're going through a meteor field, and like they're all hitting the ship, and so you have to go up and kind of man the guns.
And
you go outside.
Yeah,
that you go to the guns and then shoot all the things down, right?
Yeah, so it was like way harder than it needed to be.
Right. So what they did instead of like making you go up, like it was like you just walk through before what it was is you would walk through the meteors, get to where the guns are, and then it was like a thing you just move the guns around and shoot meteors as they're coming towards you, right?
Okay.
So this one, what they did instead is like there are still meteors coming down. You still have to go outside, but instead you go up. There's 3 guns that you have to go up to, and then you link them to your rig, and then you just point up with your gun and then like tag the ones that you're going to shoot, and then it shoots them down. So it's a little bit less frustrating, but feels more futuristic than just being like, oh, here's another console I'm just going to sit at and shoot asteroids, you know? So that was good. It's good so far. It's scary. I still get scared by stuff popping out.
Have you noticed if they like have moved where things are?
Some.
Like
there's some, especially because they added side quests and things like that in too. So there's like, you'll pick up something and it'll be like, oh, hey, go find all these other rigs that are in different locations that belong to the staff on the ship.
Did they make you go back to previous places, like previous locations you've been to?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't really have a reason to do that before.
Right. Yeah. Before it was just very like, it was a game from 2006, right? Is that when the original Dead Space
2008 or 9.
Let me see here.
Right?
2008. Wow, 2008.
That's 15 years.
That's 15 years ago. My God.
We knew each other back then too. That's cool.
We did. That was my first year at college. Well, I mean, Will Shell and I started to play this on his Xbox in his apartment.
Yeah, I remember that, and that's the reason why I picked it up.
Yeah,
you guys were like talking about it so much.
It was creepy. But it uses it's on the Frostbite engine.
Cool.
It's still only single player, which is good. I like that. Whenever you kind of start throwing the multiplayer stuff in there.
Yeah, I mean, it should definitely be a focus and not like the main thing for sure. And like it just kind of distract. Like a lot of the time, multiplayer can just distract from. Yeah. Like it just add extra things that don't need to be there.
But yeah, it's great so far. And I think the thing that we've talked about it before is the scariest part of Dead Space isn't the necromorphs. The scariest part about Dead Space is the scarcity of ammo whenever you're playing it. Like that's the thing that I keep playing it and keep freaking out over is like I get to a point where I'm just like I have no guns. I can't use anything, and I'm like afraid something's gonna pop out, and I'm just gonna have to run away or like try and get past it or die again in a really gruesome way because I'm like it's like I don't have any ammo for my plasma. All I have is napalm fuel, and that sucks. And
yeah, it did force me to be very strategic about like cutting legs off so I could just go and walk over and stomp them.
Yeah, stomp them. The stomp is less effective. I find myself doing the like cut off their arm, pull their arm back with kinesis, and then shoot it into them, you know?
Oh, nice.
Because they've got those big bladey arms most of the time.
Oh, yeah. I never did that. That's cool.
And then also the Ripper is an underrated weapon. The thing with the chain with the saw blade on it.
Yeah, that you can
when I'm running out of ammo, basically I just like if more than one thing comes out, I just get out the Ripper, shoot a saw blade, and just go and hopefully that is what makes the that's
what does it. Yeah,
them necromorphs deader. But it is good. I got like nostalgia, like playing it. I was just like, I remember this part. And whenever you're like in the food processing area and you're like, oh, the lights are off. Oh no, this is where the giant thing with tentacles is there that you have to shoot at. Yeah. It was still scary whenever the tentacle shot out and grabbed you, and then you have to like shoot it as it's pulling you through.
As it like pulls you down.
It's still scary. Like it makes you be like, video games are still good. Like good video games are still good.
That's right.
So I would recommend both games I've been playing. Would recommend. I'm playing stuff on PS5, but I'll update everybody on that as I keep playing them. There's a lot.
Overall, how have you felt about the PS5?
It's nice. It's a good system.
Fun.
It's very pretty.
It's a chunky boy.
I really like the controller, like the haptic, like the
haptic, like how you can squeeze the triggers and
like the
has
half
different
press
amounts of resistance and stuff.
Yeah, like the half press or the full press.
Yeah.
I'll talk about this later, but I started to play a little bit of Returnal, which uses that in a really cool way. But also just like the haptic response to it, like the rumble and like the things that you can do with it. It just feels good whenever you're doing stuff. Like since we play on PC a lot of the time, we kind of miss the rumble stuff. But whenever you play things, I mean, yeah, but also it's like, you know, everyone, it's like good to be like, I don't feel it for a while. Then I play like games. I'm just like, ooh, I like that little
cool.
buzz.
Yeah.
I like the little buzz that happens. Makes me happy. Makes me happy. Yeah. Anything else, Chris? Any other fun game things happening?
Not really. We finished playing, rolling through Raft, so that was cool.
Nice. Cool. You finished it?
Yeah, we finished it.
Oh my god!
But there's like a storyline.
Yeah,
we got to,
like you could like keep playing it and keep building your raft, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we wanted to, but like I'm kind of good now.
Gotcha. Like, I'm done. I'm all right. I made it as far as I
made
wanted
the thing,
to.
and
made a thing, did a thing, done a thing.
That's right.
Cool. That's great. Right. Well then, just we're gonna go into the topic.
Yep.
Segue. So this is
What's that, Dan?
Well, the topic is. Yeah, never mind. You know what? Never mind. We're not gonna do it. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, okay.
No, but the topic is JK. Never mind. LOL. Which is or never mind JK. LOL. Which is because there has been probably if you play tabletop role playing games over the last.
The biggest one in
the biggest one, but in general, like the whole tabletop space kind of blew up over this. Over the last month, there has been some crazy drama happening between Wizards of the Coast and everybody else. So, in the beginning of January, so D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast is the publisher of Dungeons and Dragons.
They also have other games such as Magic the Gathering.
Yep, they do Magic the Gathering. They do a lot of different things. But Dungeons and Dragons is one of the widest played like tabletop role-playing games in the whole world, right? So they have there's something called the Open Gaming License, which the Open Gaming License basically says if you're a third party, you can create written products with like adventures, rule books using the D&D system owned by Wizards of the Coast. You can use it. It's called OGL 1.0. There's like you can't use there's like some trademarking things that are different, but in general, it's like you can use Dungeons and Dragons. You can use it. It's fine. And it hasn't like since 23 years ago, 2000 is how long it's been around for. So there's like
third edition, second edition.
I think third edition is where it really kicked in. But it's the reason that there are like Star Wars like 5e, like there's a Star Wars 5e thing. Pathfinder exists because this exists.
Though I think Pathfinder's changed enough for second edition that it's its own thing.
It kind of, but it wouldn't exist without that OGL because
it wouldn't have existed without it. Yeah.
Exactly. So in December, they said they were coming up with a new open gaming license, or rather that it needed to be updated because they didn't want to allow third parties to mint NFTs or people to exploit their intellectual property, which was like everyone was already a little like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah, everyone like. I mean, yeah, it was kind of like it was kind of weird,
right?
Like,
no one understood why it started to happen. I have theories, and we'll get into those in a little bit. But in January, there was a leak of what the new open gaming license was going to be, and here's I have some hits, some of the greatest hits of the Open Gaming License. So first off, the first Open Gaming License said you could never invalidate it. The new gaming license invalidated the first one. So it said you could no longer use the first Open Gaming License. It stated that Wizards of the Coast had to be notified about and receive a report of any earnings of all monetized content from the product that would use this gaming license. If you used it and you earn over $750,000 a year, you'd have to pay them a 25% royalty fee.
Jesus. Or
20% if what you did was funded through Kickstarter for all income beyond $750,000. It claimed the right to use all Open Gaming License content in any way Wizards of the Coast saw fit. So anything you created, they could use for whatever they wanted. It stopped all Dungeons and Dragons, NFTs, and blockchain stuff. And it also allowed the termination of the license for content that's racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, bigoted, or otherwise discriminatory. That part's not too bad.
That's good.
That's okay. However, there's a lot of stuff that is not good in that. Basically, They're saying like, oh yeah, if you make anything, it's ours now. BT Dubs, LOL, thanks. So what?
That part is the most wild.
Yeah. What? So what are your reactions to that part of it, Chris? Like to that?
So I mean, that just seems like a pure money grab, and it kind of goes with what a lot of Wizards has been doing recently. Like,
right.
I mean, they've been pushing Magic real hard recently, like coming out with sets super fast. So it's not surprising that they're trying to make more money off of D&D. But I feel like this, because it is like Magic and D&D are two of like the biggest tabletop things out there.
Yes. Yeah, they are.
And like, so it's not surprising that they're trying to do this, but the way that they went about it was just...
It was very sneaky.
So, well, not even sneaky. It wasn't sneaky.
It wasn't sneaky, actually. It was pretty blatant.
Right.
Thank God.
Just heavy-handed. And it seemed like it came from people that didn't understand the product.
Right. And that's kind of the big thing for it. Is that everybody was mad at this. Not just like people who owned, like, because my thoughts on it was as soon as I heard that, I was just like, they're trying to get the Critical Role money. Like, they're trying to get that Critical Role. We have a show on Amazon.
Dimension 20.
Dimension 20. They have all of this merch and basically anything that they made. So if these companies made anything over $750,000, then they would get a cut of that. So I'm like, they're trying to get in on all these things that have really popular IPs that they could then take and use.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things. That's right, because they had, I think, I wonder. Oh my God, that's amazing. But I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so they were just trying to press the easy button to unlock a bunch of money.
No one will really notice that we did this, and also we could get a cut of all this money for it. So, so after that happened, a lot of people started to sign petitions. There was a Twitter thing. I'm not on Twitter anymore, but there was a Twitter like hashtag Open D&D was the trending tag for a while because basically everyone was just like, don't give Wizards of the Coast any money, don't do anything for them because
and a ton of people canceled their
Beyond. Oh yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, it's so many people canceled it crashed the site.
Yeah, did you cancel yours?
I did. It's back now, but I did cancel it for a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay though.
Part of that also is just like, I don't know. Like, I don't have a ton of content on there like that I've bought, but like, it's enough that like I would still like to have access to it.
Well, I just
So,
I canceled my subscription for a little bit. I didn't delete all the books that I had purchased because it's like I still want to have access to those.
right.
But yeah, but everyone was mad, and we all kind of banded together, and we were just like, "Screw you."
And what was funny was that Paizo,
Yep.
who makes Pathfinder, basically came out with a response to that basically said, "Yeah, go nuts with ours."
Yeah,
And
they were like, do whatever. That's fine. And also, like, the amount of things after that, there were people who just decided they were like, okay, that's fine. You can do that. We're BT Dubs. We're trademarking our own. It's not D&D, but our tabletop RPG style play thing, where it's like if you change just a few things, you can make it so that it's your own.
like
It's
Pathfinder.
your own. It's your like Pathfinder. So it's like, fine, that's fine. We're gonna trademark our own, and that way, then they're like, oh no.
As a side note, Humble Bundle has a Pathfinder book bundle right now for $25 for like 28 items.
I think I got that like 6 years ago.
Yeah,
Whenever they first.
I just grabbed it because
It's nice.
I don't know.
It's nice to
Now
have.
we're talking about trying Pathfinder, so
Nice. Talk to me. Will Shell sent me some text messages today. He was looking at new tabletop RPG things, and I was like, "Ooh, hey man, count me in if you ever want to do anything."
Yeah.
What did he send me? Hold on, I'm gonna look and tell you what they are, because hold on, I gotta pull it up. Fun music. Do. One is called Tales from the Loop.
nope.
I'd have to look it up, but Will asked me about it, and I was like, I have no idea. I've never heard of that one.
Nope. The show.
Yeah, I think that it's based on that.
Okay. Alternative history science fiction tabletop role playing game, published in 2017 from a Kickstarter. Okay.
There is I don't remember what it's called, but I saw it the other day, and it's a tabletop RPG where you have to
It kind of seems similar to Monster of the Week in a way.
Yeah, I think that's what that one looks like. But there's one that I played or that I saw and I was very interested in, because it's a tabletop RPG that you play, but you don't talk. Like basically it's like made to be played like once, but it's a game where like you are in a group chat in like a text message with all your friends, and then one of your friends goes missing, and then it's like you have to like kind of figure out what happened, but you can only talk via this group chat on your phones.
Huh.
So it's like I don't remember what it's called. I need to go back to the store and see what it is and remember what it is. But
That's kind of cool.
It looks very cool, and I'm like, you also could do that in like if you're like not in the same place, you could do that, which is pretty cool. But I digress. Yeah. Those are tabletop RPG things. We'll do the podcast about that another time. But after all this, there was so much back. Literally everybody hated it. Not a single person was like, "Oh yeah, this looks great."
It was an EA level of hate.
Like, they didn't say anything for days, and then I think it might have been like 2 weeks ago. They responded, and they were like, "Okay, we heard you.
Our bad.
Sorry about that. OMG, never mind."
And they were like, "Don't think about this as you winning or us winning. It's both of us winning." And
we're
it's like,
both winning. It's like, no, we won.
No,
we won.
No, you lost.
You lost,
and you're just trying to make it seem like we both won.
It's trying to make it, but no, we did it.
Because like this isn't like the normal, like do something that pisses people off and then pull it back to where you actually want it to be.
They
It seems like they were like, nope, we're going completely opposite direction. And they're like, they made it so like everything is open, everything is always going to be open, and like,
So the new open gaming license,
they failed their charisma check.
They did fail. They got a nat 1. They got a nat negative 20, which is impossible. So the new open gaming license, the one that is approved and they released, and this is what it's going to be. Number 1, it does not contain any royalty structure, royalty fees whatsoever. Number 2, no financial reporting or registration requirements whatsoever for the open gaming license. 3, clarified that creators own their own content and that they don't get.
I assume in perpetuity.
Yeah, basically. Stated anything already released under the Open Gaming License 1 would be unaffected, so it's still good. Live streams, virtual tabletops, actual plays are not affected by the Open Gaming License as well. So, but not just that. They also promised to give away the game's core mechanics. Like,
that's wild.
Like, it's just they're just like, it is now part of the Creative Commons license. So, D&D's core mechanics, everybody can have them for free, no matter what. Like, you don't even have to quote the license. It's just there.
That's crazy.
So wild. There are a bunch of lawyers involved too, because people started to there are a bunch of lawyers that started to be like, well, if they do this, we have to start making legal ramifications to get them to stop doing it. And every article I read with lawyers involved was just like, I mean, yeah, we have nothing. We were expecting them to at least have one little backstab in there, but they just got it.
They completely were like, nope.
They're just done. Nope, we're done. So people were able to respond to the new open gaming license by February 3rd. And then Wizards of the Coast will respond to it before the 17th. So we don't know what their final resolution is yet, but yeah, it's basically everyone was upset that they even decided to try and change. There was no reason to change, to add a new open gaming license. Yeah. So whenever they walked it back, everyone was like, "Yeah, that's freaking right. You walk it back. You're not cool enough you can't sit with us, you know."
Yeah.
So,
but we both won.
Yeah, we both won. No, we won. We won in that. So, but that's an example. That's a thing. Whenever we all band together. Not to sound
that's not the first time this has happened, though. I would say that this is probably the hardest.
I think this is the hardest win. Yeah. Aside from them changing it to changing ugly Sonic to regular Sonic, I think this is probably the biggest win that we have as a collective, down with the proletariat. Game revolutionary open voices sort of clientele. But there are other things that have happened before where there was a lot of fan backlash that kind of caused people to change things. Lilo sounds so sad.
I know.
That last little.
I mean, we're getting close to done, so maybe I'll before we play stuff, I'll do something with her.
Oh my goodness! Is she just alone and sad, and no one wants to play with her?
Yeah, because Katie's not here. So.
Oh no. Okay. Yep. Got it. She's just like, why does anyone want to play with me? Sebastian just naps most of the time whenever we're not around.
I wish she would.
How old is she? How old is Lilo?
She just turned 3.
Oh, she's still
kind of a puppy.
She's still a puppy. Sebastian's going to be 6 in June.
Little puppy.
He's an old man. Anytime he gets up from his naps, he's just kind of like, he doesn't so slow. He looks like me getting up from the couch after I've had where I'm like, oh god, because technically him and I are about the same age in dog years.
Yeah.
So technically Sebastian is probably, oh my goodness, She's very
I'll be
upset.
back in one
Yeah,
second.
that's okay. We'll take a break and you can hear from these commercial sponsors. Hi, my name's Dan. Welcome to the commercial sponsor part of the show. Today we are sponsored by cleaning your apartment. Sometimes there's too much pet hair. Whenever there's too much pet hair, you know what you do? You clean your apartment. If you have a air filter, run that too. Don't forget to clean the corners. If you clean your baseboards, people will look at it and be like, oh, their house is clean. You could just clean your baseboards, and people would be like, oh, your house is clean. Because we notice that when we go to other people's houses and apartments. Clean your baseboards. The more you know. Do-da, do-da. I don't know what else I have. I could show you my Legos. Hold on. Which one? I don't know. There's a lot of I got some guys over there.
All right.
Are you back?
I'm back.
Is Lilo okay?
She's gonna be okay.
She's gonna be okay. She's gonna be okay.
She's good.
Okay, good. But we're gonna talk about some of the other games that have or like games or like things that have there's been fan backlash about which caused changes in the game, or at least something to happen to it later. One I want to bring up is what we refer to as one of the best games of all time, which is Fallout 3. Which we
forget what the change in that was.
So the big problem was at the end of Fallout 3, spoilers, #spoilers for this game that's like 20 years old. If at the end of Fallout 3, you have to go into like this water, like this irradiated water thing, and then you die, and then the game's over. So you finish the game, you can't do anything after it. Like you're just like, it's done. Man. You're dead. Bye.
That sucks.
And that was dumb. So everybody hated that. This is kind of before the internet was super loud. So what happened was is they released DLC later. That was like, I forget. It wasn't Brotherhood of Steel. It was the one before that.
The Pit?
No, that was after Brotherhood of Steel. I forget, but they released.
Was Brotherhood of Steel the one you went to Alaska?
I don't think you went to Alaska in that one.
You fought.
Oh no, you
went
did.
To Alaska and fought the Chinese.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, you did that. But also that kind of opened back up the whole game. Basically, it made it so they released them in that DLC. What it also did is it changed the end of the game where you could have one of your followers go in.
Oh, it was Broken Steel.
Broken Steel. That's what it is.
And you could send Fox in.
Yeah, instead of you, because then it's like, oh yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then that kind of opened it up so you could continue to explore and do things.
Yeah, and like I appreciate what they were trying to do with it, but also like it goes completely against like the open worldness and like exploration of the game.
Yeah, it's like the whole point of open world games is that they're open and you can make any decision that you want to.
Right.
But taking away that decision is kind of what makes it not good. That's kind of like Mass Effect 3 that did the same thing, you know, where there were like there were three cookie cutter endings that you could do, or like there were three different endings, but it was all the same. I can't remember because it's been so long. Where's Will Shell when you need him? Like he's our Mass Effect expert, and he's not here. But if I'm not mistaken, I think at the end of Mass Effect 3, no matter what you did, it ended the same way.
I think eventually they added some things in later.
That's the thing is after people complained about it, they were like, oh yeah, BT dubs, we're gonna
literally everything that you've done like in this game where it's supposed to have all these choices didn't matter.
Didn't matter. I think what they added was at the end there were like narrative things that showed like, oh, here's the effects that what you did had later, instead of just being like, oh, it's over, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Game's over.
Yeah. The one that I remember the most was when people played the demo of, one of them played the demo of Battlefront 2 and saw like just how much time it would have required to get like
Oh,
all the different
yeah.
upgrades and stuff.
Oh, I remember that.
And they completely changed the entire
They
way. Like,
they basically released everything for free. You just got
Yeah.
everything. And they were like, oh, never mind. We're going to change everything. Because I think it was something like it would take you 13 years if you wanted to unlock everything in the game the way they had it. Which is what we need to be yelling about if you're a person who plays Overwatch 2. That's something you need to be complaining about, because they keep releasing new characters that are only accessible through the battle pass, like completing the battle pass, and the battle pass is almost impossible to complete. So start shouting, everybody.
Yeah, but also I feel like a lot of people just don't care anymore about Overwatch.
Overwatch, I think it's fallen off a bit. There's like a bunch of other games you can play that are like that.
Everyone's all about paladins.
Is that what everyone's about now? Paladins?
I don't know. Me and Ian and Fee and Allison played a little bit of it.
I was gonna. Fee sent me a invite to that I didn't see because I was out with friends. But it was but he sent me a thing, and I was like, oh, should I download Paladins? Is that a thing? Should I download Paladins?
It's all right.
I still think you guys should download the Gundam one. There's a Gundam one.
I think I downloaded that.
Nice. Because then we can play it's basically Overwatch. You're just Gundams, which is also good.
Big snappy robots are always great.
Chris, I started to watch Chainsaw Man. I don't see the appeal.
You don't like it?
It's fine, but it's a little bit too much of
fan service.
It's a little bit more pervy than I want it to be.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Which is like it's not my favorite. So
yeah, I can see that.
That's fine. It's okay though. I'm just gonna keep watching.
I still found it pretty entertaining.
I'm still gonna keep watching. I'm gonna keep watching Demon Slayer and Fairy Tale and stuff like that.
Nice.
Have you watched Demon Slayer at all?
I've watched the first 2 seasons and the movie. I haven't watched much of the season where they're in like the town.
That one's pretty good. There's a lot of really long. The one in the town, there's a lot of like almost Dragon Ball Z-esque like fighting things where it's like this is going on very long, but not exactly like that. But there was another Final Fantasy 14. That's a classic where it was so bad that they made an event that basically destroyed the world and then restarted and then redid the whole game.
And then didn't have the game out for a while and then released it. And
it was like and that was great because it's now one of like the best.
Right, so they fixed it.
They fixed it, and it's one of the best MMORPGs on the market right now.
Right, and then kind of the same thing happened with No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky was a little bit. I don't blame the developer on that though. I blame the publisher for forcing them to put it out earlier than it was ready.
Well, and I blame the dude just like way overselling everything, and like he was doing he basically did a Peter Molyneux and just got caught up in his own hype.
Yeah, we all know if Peter Molyneux says it's an open world, it's not. It's not an open world. It's still there's still
using
borders.
this. I don't think you understand what it means.
You keep saying this. I do not think you understand what it means. Did you know that they had so much fun filming that movie? Like that
Princess Bride?
Yeah, that people like regularly cracked ribs from laughing so hard. Like
that's awesome.
One time they had to delay shooting because the guy who was supposed to play the rodent of unusual size was arrested, so they had to bail him out before they could finish shooting the scene.
That's awesome.
That's great. Like people got stabbed a bunch of times because they had swords and they just weren't good at using them.
And they were just messing around, and
it was great.
Andre the Giant was drinking gratuitous amounts of alcohol, I'm sure.
Just barrels of beer.
Yeah.
And then my favorite one of the game stuff is Bloodstained. Did you play Bloodstained at all?
I haven't. I know I should because it's basically Castlevania.
Yeah, it's Castlevania-esque. But basically they released I think it was either a demo or a trailer for the game, and everyone was looking at it. It was just like, these graphics are bad. everything sucks. Like, this looks like it's really not well done at all. And then what happened was the developer of the game like read all of those things and was like, okay. And so he took it away and then redid everything. And in fact, he like released a video on YouTube. Basically, it's him sitting there drinking a glass of wine, and you just see like on the screen all the people's comments about like how the art style looks rushed, everything looks fuzzy, this isn't good, everything looks really bad, it doesn't look polished at all. And he was just like, okay. And then it was like a year and a half later, and you could see him like typing away. And then they released the full game, or they released the game after he did all the changes, and it's great. It's like really, it's like really pretty. It's very Castlevania-y. It's a really cool thing. I need to continue. I started playing it, but I didn't finish it. Yeah. So yeah. So it was supposed to be released. It was supposed to be released in 2017. But what happened? Except he was bringing the second studio to help with the development of the game and delayed the game.
I mean, I respect when people kind of realize that and then do a good job and like taking that feedback and
right. Like they just recently, Star Wars Jedi Survivor was pushed back, was delayed because they were like, we want to make sure it's ready, like we want to make sure it's good to go. And I really appreciate that is becoming the norm again, because I really cannot stress how much I hated the fact that we had so many unfinished games that released
that were just pushed out to
meet whatever
deadline that was set. Yeah,
arbitrary deadlines. Like it's with games, it's like it's wait until it's done. Like, just let it be done first, and then I'm not going to eat a cake that's undercooked. Just let it.
Probably wouldn't. I might. I don't know.
It depends on how hungry I am. But but it's like don't release something before it's ready. And if people are telling you, "Hey, don't do this," then don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do it. Just don't.
Don't do it. Don't do it. So, Chris. As we're approaching the 8 o'clock mark for our podcast portion of the podcast, is there anything? Are there any games that you would like to shout at, or developers or publishers you'd like to shout at to be like, hey, don't do this?
I mean, CD Projekt Red needs to make sure that they don't do it again.
Yeah.
Or else
don't do that
do
again.
It again. With Bethesda, like they need to just get the next Elder Scrolls out. Like it's been
I don't think so. But here's the
12
thing.
years.
It's been a
12
while.
years.
But they're working on Starfield right now. And Starfield is still not out because they need to make sure
come out this year, hopefully.
Hopefully, but they got to make sure it's good.
It's not like it's I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good, but it's still going to be janky as hell like it always is.
It's always that way.
Always that way. Like, I mean, it's a little more fine for Bethesda to do it because they have such a good modding community, but
it's true. So people could just fix it themselves.
Right.
But that's like giving you that's like in the 1800s whenever they'd be like, oh, here's the kit that you can buy to build your own house out on, like build your own ranch, except as a video game. Oh no, that's Mario Maker. But the BT Dubs, I put this in there. Did you see that Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox are not going to be at E3 this year?
I mean, Nintendo always is not really there because they're in their treehouse thing.
No, but they like are usually at least on the floor, and they have some stuff that they announce. Not going to do it. They're going to have their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think after like COVID, they all kind of moved to do that.
And that's what we kind of talked about. We talked about, is E3 dead? And
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of becoming less and less.
it's on its way out.
Yeah.
It's got one foot in the grave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna yell at for my
fine.
thing. It's fine. We don't need it. I'm gonna yell at Activision because they suck, but also because like
all Activision or Activision Blizzard.
all of them, everything,
Yeah.
they suck.
Yeah.
But Modern Warfare 2, I play with my brothers every Thursday. We play Warzone, and that game is just so busted still. It's like this thing came out months ago. You should be fixed like the fact that anytime we start the drop, the lag spikes. Like no matter what game we play or what server we're on, wherever, no matter what game we play, as soon as we start dropping in, the lag spikes up to like 300 megabits like ping.
That's awful.
And then as you're like falling through the sky, it's like, come on. Fortnite does this seamlessly. Yet
Right.
you guys
And you have like allegedly like the people who knew how to do servers the best, allegedly.
because
Like
it's like
with Blizzard, like they used to be like that used to be their
it's
thing.
the worst. Luckily they are coming out with an update that fixes an update that fixes a bunch of this bullshit, but it's
That's
like
good.
it's still bullshit. I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Get your shit together. But yeah. I like Fortnite. I like playing Fortnite. It's fun and stupid.
Yeah.
I got an Isaac Clarke character in Fortnite.
Oh, from playing
Dead Space.
Dead Space. That's fun.
I got it, and Bradley and Jen and I were playing, and Brad was like, "That's so goddamn cool. I just want that."
Yeah.
I was like, "Isn't it?"
I mean, it's cool that like literally like everything is now like a
I do.
skin.
I think that's the best way they could have done. Also, I do think it's interesting that they have like concerts and stuff in Fortnite.
That is interesting.
Like it's
almost like becoming sort of Second Life-y.
yeah.
In a way.
There's a lot of stuff where it's just cool things happen in Fortnite. Like a lot of I know I make fun of it's like, oh, Fortnite, oh, you kids go play Fortnite, but I play Fortnite. I enjoy it. It's fun. And it's dumb, and you don't have to be really good at video games to be good at Fortnite. You could just get lucky in Fortnite and still win, you know?
Yeah.
Or not even play Fortnite. There's a Dragon Ball Z thing going on right now. You could go to Capsule
for real?
Corp. Yeah. You want to play
cool.
Fortnite, Chris?
I don't know if I have it installed right now.
Oh, man. You should install it so one of these days you can come play Fortnite with me. But anyway, so that is where we're going to end it. Chris.
That's me.
Never mind. Hold on. I changed my mind. I'm
What
going to
were
do
you
it in a
gonna say?
different. No, I'm going to do it in a different order. This is the end of the podcast. At the end of the podcast, we say a few things. The first thing is, go and join our Discord,
bit.ly/Disco Brew.
Disco Brew. DISCOBREW. And yeah, you can hang out with us. You can chat with us. You can ask us questions. You can tell us things that are fun. Ross Brew Party usually puts what beers he's drinking at the time, and they're always very interesting.
They are.
Except for that blueberry one, I really don't like it. And people were like, "What?" And I was like, "It's gross." Blueberries don't belong in beer. The other thing you should do is listen to the podcast. If you listen to it, you can find the GameBrew, all one word, podcast on any of your favorite podcast streaming mediums. Also, tell your friends to listen to it. If you really enjoy listening to the podcast or you like watching the podcast, tell your friends to tune in, and we will entertain them as well.
Hopefully.
We like people, and we like when people are here. We're going to keep doing it. I don't know. Me and Chris have fun talking to each
hanging
other.
out. And,
If you are cool and fun and want to join in on the podcast, send us a message. Be like, hey, can I come on the podcast? And maybe the answer might
we'll be like, maybe.
maybe. We'll see. What do you want to talk about?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? And then we'll figure it out. So it was just on Discord, so it's not like just cameras. I've given up. Like it's just this is just a Discord window. So like I could look, you could see here's my mouse, here's all the things on it. But the the production budget went way low for the podcast.
It's okay.
But it's okay. And yeah, Chris, do you have anything you want to plug? Anything fun, exciting coming up that you want to tell the people about?
Might be doing my first Warhammer tournament next weekend of the year, so that'll be cool.
Nice. What's your so Chris, remind everybody what your Warhammer 40K what your army
faction?
is. Yeah.
So right now I'm doing Space Wolves normally. They're kind of my main army.
Mm-hmm.
And then I picked up Death Guard and Custodes, which are like kind of really fancy shiny boys. It's what Henry Cavill plays.
Oh, of course. Of course.
So.
How do Henry Cavill also going to be the forefront of the Warhammer 40K like Amazon series they're making?
Yeah. Super pumped.
I'm super pumped for that too. Especially because they're changing Supermans. Like, so it's like, it's okay, Henry. It's like, hey man, it's okay.
I mean, he seems like he wanted to do this for a while too.
And that's good. That's fine. We're okay with that. I'm going to Disney. Ooh, BT Dubs. There might not be a Dan. There won't be a Dan on the podcast for the next 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. Oh, because you're going to Disney
or 3 weeks. There might be, unless you want to do anything.
Maybe we'll see.
There might be a small break coming up. Unless we want to do it in the middle of the week, because next week is the Super Bowl,
right?
Which them Eagles is in. Go Birds! Which, I mean, if you pay attention to the Super Bowl or like football this year, I really don't know if this is going to be an exciting Super Bowl. I think this might be, like, knock on wood, I think this might be a pretty solid Eagles win.
Oh, you think so?
I really do. Because watching the Eagles play all season, I've never seen a team that was so in sync, you know?
Yeah.
And also that managed to keep all their starters.
That's
all the players on the Eagles are still the starters. In the game against the 49ers that we played to become the NFC champions, we took out every single one of their quarterbacks. So they had no more quarterbacks left by the end of the game, which is rough. But so I don't know. I'm positive about it. So we got Super Bowl next weekend. I'm going to leave on a plane to Disney World the weekend after that. And then the weekend after that, I'm going to be coming back from Disney. So I don't want to promise that I'm going to be available because I probably won't be.
Makes sense.
But boy, is it going to be fun. Hannah's never been to Disney World before. It's going to be a fun time.
So cool.
My 2 nieces have never been to Disney World before. It's going to be fun. I haven't been there since I was like 15, something like that.
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I just want to go like Star Wars Land. I want to go get drunk in Epcot. Like I just want to have a fun time. I feel like we might be in Epcot on National Margarita Day, which is like a thing. And I'm like, I really hope we're there for that. That would be great.
That'll be awesome.
But yeah, that's going to be really exciting. I'll give you all updates whenever I come back.
Yeah, you're going to have to share pictures.
You can also go to, I do still stream on my channel on Thursdays if you want to hang out. It usually starts out with me, Brad, and Jen, and my friend Usman playing Fortnite. And then eventually we switch over to, what's it called? The Warzone 2.0. So, yeah. Obviously, cool. Again, I keep talking about Fortnite. I love Fortnite so much. So, yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions for us, please make sure you hit us up. Otherwise, we're going to end the podcast the way we always end the podcast, which is by saying good night, everybody.